You absolutely won't believe these weather moments caught on security camera. From a powerful lightning bolt striking a tree and splitting it in half in seconds, to the moment when a powerful storm flung cars about on the highway like pieces of wool. These shocking moments caught on security cameras would sure send chills down your spine. Apart from the fact that we get to see the damaging capacity of twisters in science fiction movies, tornadoes are in fact real and they can be very deadly. Although a typical tornado is just a combination of rotating winds, these magnificent storms can travel at speeds of up to 250 miles per hour. That's like being hit by a Bugatti, and if you've never been hit by a tornado, you should consider yourself lucky. On October 23, 2017, a tornado tore through the city of Spartanburg in South Carolina, wreaking havoc on lots of residences and businesses. The exact moment when the tornado struck was caught on CCTV footage from a factory close by. Although it appeared to be business as usual inside the garage, a few employees peeked out the window to get a glimpse of what was happening. The tornado soon increased in tempo, forcing all of them to run for cover as the massive wind was now howling through the structure. Just before the wall was brought down by the tornado, one very lucky man narrowly escaped being crushed by the wall as it soon came crashing down. The tornado hit the wall where the CCTV was hung, hitting it hard and fracturing the camera lens. All that's left of the factory after the incident is twisted metal and a large pile of concrete. Landslides can also be very deadly, and they occur throughout the globe. In fact, according to available statistics, more than 18,000 people have lost their lives in deadly landslide incidents around the world. One enormous landslide was caught on camera by security cameras in the Fujian province of China back in 2019. Unexpectedly, the entire hillside collapsed, easily moving parked cars out of the road. As it's common with landslides and following investigations after the incident, this landslide was also by the movement of water close to the hillside. Water is excellent at removing friction between silt and bedrock. Once the friction is gone, gravity takes over and sends everything tumbling onto whatever happens to be in the path. This explains why there are often more landslides following periods of intense rain. Thank goodness nobody in this video was hurt. A microburst is usually a pattern of strong winds that descend from rain clouds and is capable of causing destructive damage. But unlike tornadoes, microbursts only last for 5 to 20 minutes, making them not as dangerous as tornadoes, but still capable of wreaking considerable havoc, as we'll be showing you in this CCTV footage. Early in the year 2020, a wall of a gymnasium was abruptly destroyed by a microburst, startling the kids that were inside. The building's entire wall is blasted apart in a matter of seconds. Just before the incident, the kids had a clear warning that something was about to happen, allowing everyone to leave the gym. A microburst can produce winds that are up to 100 miles per hour in speed and capable of moving quickly. The microburst in this video had winds of more than 85 miles an hour, and as it's as common with microbursts, there was minimal notice before the storm struck. But thankfully, only minor injuries were sustained by a few children. Tsunamis are in a class of their own and commonly caused by underwater earthquakes, landslides, or even volcanic eruptions. A tsunami is a sequence of ocean waves that can also result from a big meteor impacting the ocean. These waves can rise more than 100 feet in the air. Undoubtedly one of the most catastrophic natural disasters to ever occur on Earth was the tsunami that hit Japan in 2011. A 9.0 earthquake that occurred miles offshore was the catalyst for the entire event. The first waves were seen approaching the Sendai airport a little more than an hour after the earthquake. The whole country received a warning notice. On their scale, this warning was the strongest. Many CCTV cameras were used to record the tsunami as it ravaged nearly the entire length of the nation. But one specific video taken by a highway traffic camera provided an insight into exactly how quickly the water swept across the land. This tsunami was so strong that it even made it as far as North and South America, sweeping across Chile to Alaska. For comparison, Chile experienced 6-foot waves, while areas of Japan experienced 120-foot waves. The earthquake that triggered the tsunami was much less lethal and damaging since it happened offshore, but the flooding resulted in an extraordinary high death toll. Hurricanes are called tropical storms, and as these storms surge, they cause large waves that pose a great threat to life and property. Tropical storm surges can reach heights well over 20 feet and can span hundreds of miles of coastline. Hurricanes can also last for as many as 2 to 3 weeks. One of the greatest hurricane occurrences ever in the history of the US was Hurricane Ida, which spanned for 9 days between August and September 2021. It was a Category 4 storm accompanied by tremendous wind and rain, resulting in damages that were estimated at over $65 billion US. Hurricane Ida is now the 6th most expensive tropical cyclone in recorded history. The hurricane developed over the Atlantic in Central America, moved northwest into the Gulf of Mexico, and finally made landfall in Louisiana. These locations were among the first areas to experience the effects of the hurricane. A nearby fire station's surveillance cameras recorded every second as it happened. The land was submerged in water for about an hour. The hurricane then traveled further inland, moving at a speed of about 240 kilometers an hour and drowning more towns and cities before finally dissipating. These cameras captured only 60 minutes of the hurricane wreaking havoc in just one area, yet the destruction caused was so huge. Because of the hurricane's lingering effects, Massachusetts in the north experienced severe flooding and tornado activity, while New York City's transportation systems had to be temporarily shut down entirely. Hurricane Ida resulted in 107 fatalities, in addition to widespread property destruction. Earthquakes are among the worst and deadliest natural disasters on the planet, capable of resulting in landslides, tsunamis, fires, and even fault ruptures. But what's more terrible is that earthquakes can cause all these catastrophes to occur simultaneously. A severe earthquake and associated tsunami struck the Indonesian city of Palu in 2018 and devastated the city extensively. It was a magnitude 7.5 earthquake and was the deadliest earthquake in the world as of 2018, and the worst to hit Indonesia since 2006. The incident resulted in the deaths of over 4,000 people and the destruction of over 70,000 homes. SMS messages were used to issue a warning, but inhabitants of Palu were cautioned not to anticipate anything higher than 1.6 feet. When the waves crashed down, the whole scene was captured by surveillance footage from a homeowner. The family was having a barbecue in their garden when the earthquake hit, causing the car to slide backwards and the scooters to fall to the ground. The family is seen in the backdrop clinging to a metal door for support without realizing that the worst was yet to come. Only a few minutes later, a wall of water suddenly envelops the backyard and rose to the top of the door before beginning to recede and leaving a huge amount of debris all over the place. At least 6-foot-tall tsunami waves eventually hit Palu, rising to as high as the second level of many homes. Fortunately, this family made it out alive, but wouldn't forget this scary experience in a hurry. Heavy rain may not sound as awful and destructive as the previous 3 disasters, but when it pours heavily for an extended period, rain may cause serious damage to cities and the environment. In addition to flooding, excessive rainfall can result in landslides, overflowing rivers, power outages, and extensive damage to infrastructure. In May 2021, there was a downpour that severely damaged the Future Stars Academy daycare facility in Wentzville, Missouri. The torrential rain triggered a plumbing backup at the school, which filled the outdoor stairs with water. Soon, all of the classrooms quickly got filled up with water, which kept rising and dragging all the kids' toys and tables along with it. The only things left after the flood are a pool of gloomy brown water and a few spinning toys. The damage could have been worse, but all thanks to the sump pump installed in the building's basement, the water was quickly prevented from rising further as the pump sucked out all the water. Perhaps we can say the sump pump saved the day. Have you ever seen lightning strike a building or another object? Given how quickly lightning strikes, it would be difficult to record the incident. But thanks to CCTV cameras, even lightning can't escape being captured. The moment a lightning bolt struck a tree and tore it apart was caught on camera at a state park in New York in 2014. Just seconds after being struck by the lightning, the uppermost part of the tree first started to descend before the entire length of the tree splits into 2 halves. Even the tree bark was yanked off by this ferocious lightning in some places. In another case in 2019, as recorded by a doorbell camera, lightning struck a house and immediately set it on fire. Even though the fire is not visible in this footage, firefighters soon arrived at the scene to put it out, preventing any injuries to anyone inside the affected house. The Rosenberg Fire Department would later post the footage as a warning to stay cautious at all times whenever there's a lightning storm. On October 5, 2021, CCTV footage of how a landslide nearly caused a house to collapse, and how 2 Chinese men who were standing close to the building quickly scurried away for cover. It appeared to have been raining for some time before the tragedy struck. From the CCTV footage, a strong landslide unexpectedly tore through a nearby wall as a man appears in the open doorway across from the parking lot. Seeing the imminent danger, he immediately began to sprint and was closely followed by another man who was scared for his life. The first man stops to assess the damage before rushing to move his automobile. The landslide in this video wasn't too bad, but it could have been far worse had both men not first taken to their hills. There were 37 tornadoes in the Great Lakes region between the United States and Canada for 2 days in late September 2018. Much of the tornado's damage was in the US, with overall damages estimated at $295 million between the two nations. Quebec was hit hard by strong winds that knocked out the electricity supply to thousands of people. 2 horrifying phases of the wind were captured on CCTV from a storefront in Quebec, showing the full strength of the tornado. The footage began with a clear view of the parking lot and showed how heavy wind began to pick up debris and send it flying in the direction of cars at a near unbelievable speed. The footage then turns to 2 people standing on the porch. They cling on for dear life as the storm passes, keeping their heads low to avoid flying debris. When the ugliest part of it eventually passes, the 2 find it difficult to comprehend what they just saw. They were completely shocked at how a perfect serenity just a second earlier could suddenly change into a terrifying weather catastrophe. But they got lucky, and they lived to tell the tale. See you in the next video.